Hey, g'day guys, it's Adam from VideoShowMeHow, and in today's video we are working on the D-Max. If you've been playing along at home, you would have seen that in the last video the last one you would have seen would have been the install of the new store mod, and more specifically the wildly overkill battery module in the back there, 400 amp hour. So if you haven't seen that, I'll link it up the top here somewhere for you to check out if you're interested. Now, that caused a bit of an issue in the fact that we need to get some juice back into that, and default is DC-DC charger. We have one sitting over there on the shelf to install a 50 amp version. Long story short, for those of you that are aware, the old D-Max 90 amp alternator only, which is a bit of a problem because it uses about 70 just to stay alive. So this guy, this is the 160 amp alternator upgrade, giving us plenty of headroom to get some extra charge into the battery unit there. It is the full kit from APC, making the install nice and easy. That's what we're going to get stuck into right now, so follow along, let's get started. So if you have a quick gander of what we get in the kit, this is one of the reasons why I went with this guy, is because it is the full kit. You get all the wiring that you need, all pre-terminated. We get an extra bracket for the bigger alternator, big fuse holder ready to go there, and we should have some floating around in the box. The big boy alternator itself, it is a absolute monster, really nice blackout sort of style there as well. And then we have a couple of our 170 amp MIDI fuses that will go in our new holder there as well. So you get everything you need in the kit, extra fuse there just in case as well, which is a nice touch. That's everything you need. The rest from here to get the install started is we need to go down the front end of the car. We need to pop the hood and get cracking with step one. Now, having a look at the engine bay, quick sit rep, the alternator is hiding down in there. So for us to get to that, this is a relatively easy job. We just need to take our airbox out to give us some space, our pipe here from the airbox to the turbo to give us a bit of room. Probably our top intercooler hose is going to be coming off there as well, just to give us a bit of room, and then everything can be done from the top. So sit rep, this is where we're at. We've got a whole bunch of space going on in here. We've got our engine cover, our intake pipe, and our airbox all out. Great opportunity to give everything a bit of a clean here. We're going to get some degreaser here and a bit of a brush and give everything a once over. Now, it's really important not to get anything down your turbos in there, so just grab a bit of a rag and just gently just sort of block that up. Don't push it all the way in to damage the fins or anything like that, but just a little bit to keep any schmutz out of there. Our next step officially is to grab this pipe, our top intercooler pipe, and just remove that one as well, and then we'll be able to get to our alternator living down the bottom. And there we go, much better. OCD satisfied, nice and clean. Opportunity to get rid of some of that red cape dust. Make sure you check out that series if you haven't already. But that's our next step, is take this guy off so that we've got full access to the alternator. So rip this guy off, let's get stuck in. Right, so all removed and ready to roll, and here it is. Here is our alternator living down the bottom here. Now there's a couple of things you can see here. Here is our main loom. We're gonna have a look at that in a sec. If we take our little heat shield off here, this is our little booty here. You can see over the back, down in there is our plug, and then hidden around this side, there is our actual connection that runs our main lead all the way up here and all the way across. So we'll get into that in just a second. Now, before you go doing anything with this, we want to, one, be really careful not to damage your serp belt here, and two, we need to come over here and we need to disconnect our battery before we go touching anything. Now for me, I'm actually going to remove the battery altogether just to give me a bit more room in here with our leads and bits and pieces. So for me, that's my next step. Probably an optional one, but recommended just to get a bit more space. Get this guy out of the way, and then we can start disconnecting our factory alternator. All right, so we're good to go here. I've just brought the alternator around. We can kind of see that it is lined up that way like that. And if we talk through our different bits, we have our arm on the back here. This is for our tensioner. We'll have a look at that in a sec. Then we've got our top bolt and our plug. And at the back, there's our stud. Now, if we have a look down the bottom here at our factory unit, what we have going on here, this is our serpentine belt, and we want to make sure that we don't nick this guy. It needs to stay nice and tidy, so be careful when we take this off. What we need to do is down in here, I'm going to try and film this as best I can, but we're skiddy on space. We have a lock nut here, that is a 14mm, and then in here, this guy here, that is a 12mm, and that is our tensioner rod. So what we want to do, we want to get in here, we want to loosen this guy off, loosen off our lock nut there, then get down into here and slowly loosen that off. When we do that, this pulley here will drop down and then loosen off our belt to the point where we should be able to pull that off the alternator itself. Just sit it off to the side, and then from there we can start unplugging our plug at the top and our couple of bolts here and here to get the alternator out, and then start replacing it with our brand new one. So with our belt off, our next part is to get rid of our wiring harness here. So you can get in and pull that one out. In the back here we have our plug. Hopefully you can see that hiding in the back. Just got to get your hands in there. There is a little red pin in there. That just needs to come up first. That's a locking pin. Then it's a push and pull to pull that one up and out. And then down the back here, we've got our little boot that's hiding underneath. You pull that out of the way. That will expose a nut similar to what is on our new alternator. You just got to get a spanner down in there and take that stud off as well, and then we can move this whole harness up out of the way. Right, wiring harness up out of the way. Our next step is to remove the actual alternator. We'll get this little guy out of there so we can get the big guy back in. Now, we need to get our same two sockets again. Thank you, Isuzu, for keeping things simple. We need our 12 and our 14. The 14 will be underneath here. I'm not going to be able to show you that, but basically right here, there is a big boy bolt, and that's the 14. That connects the bottom of the alternator. If you have a look at the new one you're replacing, you'll see which one I'm talking about. That's that big one, and then we need to take our bracket off the top here. And then from there, we should be able to pull the whole alternator out. It should come out a little bit like that. Right, so here they are. I thought we'd just do a little cheeky side-by-side because there's a big difference, massive difference. These are much more girthy. If we have a look at the side there, bit of a side shot, bit of a top. So that is awesome. As Tim the Toolman Taylor would, well, I'm not going to say that. Let me know in the comments if you know what's coming next. Pretty stoked with that. This guy's going to go in the parts bin. This guy though, let's get this all installed. So here we go. We've got our new guy going into its new home. Just want to pay attention to basically putting it all back together the same way we did taking it out. Now, I'm going to put our stud in place for our new lead, our upgraded wire. This is the guy that needs to go on first. Just make sure you thread your boot through there, same as what the other one was. It's just going to make life a whole lot easier when we put it in. There's our position for the factory plug, and then it's just a matter of, down the bottom here, you can see there's our little bracket that basically holds the alternator in place. That's what's going to slot into this bottom section just down in there of the alternator itself. So that drops into there. We then have our new bracket. It'll sit attached to there, just like that. We've got our little plug here for our wiring harness, and then this guy will sit down into there just like that. So same bolts as before. We have our upgraded one here that we can use attaching in the engine block itself because we need a bit more girth, and then from there we can start working on our wiring. Right, so there we go, we are all in. So a bit of a sit rep. Once that's in play, you can now torque all of these together. So that's this guy here, our one down the bottom there, and the one on the main bracket down below. We are now nice and tight once again. We've just got our plug here to go, and then this is ready to go. From there, it's onto our wiring. So this is our factory loom. Remember, we need to keep our plug. That's going to go, of course, into the plug for the alternator with our heat protection. But what we don't need is this guy. This is the old POS running through. So for me, I want this to look nice and factory. I won't bore you with that part. I'm just going to unpick our split tube here so I can get this guy out. And then from there, what we want to do is route our new positive cable up over the top of the engine bay. Try and stay with the factory harness here in some new conduit so it's all nice and neat and protected. Plenty of zip ties to keep it all in play, and then we want to route it all the way around to our plate for our battery. Now there's a couple of options here. Now I've got an upgraded battery. I've got one of the bigger Century units there, which is a full 300 in length there, so it is a bit longer, a bit wider than the factory unit. We need to get our new fuse mount in play. So depending on your situation and the size of your battery, if you've got a factory unit, this will be able to sit in there just like that. A couple of self-tappers there and there. That will hold that into position nicely, and still plenty of space for your battery. Now from a negative side of things, this guy in here is your main battery earth. So follow that around, you'll see it's a nice short little guy, and it connects up underneath here and then ultimately into there. So what we want to do is we want to keep that in play. We have our earth cable here where the guys at APC have split it. So we've got our main one just here. We have this guy then going to that same location over here, and then we have an extra length, and that's to go down to the block. So down in there, it's going to be impossible to film, so I'll try and get a happy snap of where that is and insert it on the screen here about now. We follow this loom down and connect our extra long bit here to that earth strap to the actual block itself. And that way you're sort of doubling up your earth. You've got earth to the body, earth to the block, and you're going to be a-okay. So that's our next step. I'm going to get cracking on that, and we'll see you in a minute and show you what it looks like. Right, so here we are. We are all wired up. We have our nice new cabling here, routing up around, plenty of zip ties into the factory locations, all the way up and around, following our factory loom, all nice and conduited as well. It spits out down here. I've got this ready to go. Big boy 175 MIDI in there, ready to go. Everything's all nice and protected. Then we're coming up onto our main stud. So ultimately that is going to get connected straight in there in lieu of the old one. And then from an earth perspective, getting that guy down into there, onto that block mount that I showed in the photo a little bit earlier. What a mish, what a mish. I ended up getting the trolley jack there, lifting up this side so I could access it in from underneath here. So good luck with that. That is a bit of a mish, but a bit of perseverance, you'll be right. So we've got lots of earth and lots of power down there. So we're almost home free here. From here, we need to get our battery tray in. Just put a bit of deadener in there just to prevent, I noticed there was a little bit of rust starting to appear on the battery tray from it moving around just a little bit. So just gave that a bit of a tidy, all nice, ready to go. I'm going to put the battery back in there. You then have a few bits and bobs here that need to go back, obviously, before we go starting anything. But from there, we'll put all this back into place. Just double check your tensioner as well when you do tighten that back up. The opposite of what you did when you pulled it all apart is, remember, you're looking for about that 5 millimeters of play, looking all nice and clean as well, which is awesome. So from here, I'm going to get all of that put back inside battery there, everything else there, and then it's ready for a test. All right, so here we are all buttoned up. We can see, well, sort of, not really, down there you can see the alternator all in there, 160 amps of power all done. Got everything all nice and tidy under here, and we've got ultimately our wiring loom tucked up there all the way around. Outside of that, we are all buttoned up and running perfectly. It's actually been a couple of days. Been giving this a good test over the couple of days just to confirm everything is hunky-dory and a-okay. We are working perfectly. Got everything lined up and a bit of a multimeter there. Let's come around and we'll give it a bit of a test just to show you it in action. So I'll just start the car here. We can see on our little gauge there, camera refresh rate, we're straight up to 14.4 there, 14.2. So we are working a-okay. We turn our little multimeter on here, and there we go. We're up over 14 volts, straight up as well. We'll see that hit that 14.4 and stay there pretty solid. And then of course, depending if headlights are off, that kind of thing, it will cycle down to save some fuel and that kind of jazz, just like any other smart alternator. But yeah, so there you go. All sorted, all buttoned up. Super glad we have the big guy in there, pumping in 160 amps now. That's gonna make a massive difference when we get to installing the DC-DC charger there for the StormMod battery module. Gonna give us plenty of headroom and keep that battery all nice and topped up. If you're new around here and you're looking to build your D-Max, BT, that sort of jazz, anything on this platform, and you haven't seen much in the Video Show Me How way before any of the blue glove stuff, head on over to the channel. I'll link it down in the description down below. There are about 100 and something now, or over 100 videos on how to do various things on your rig. So if you're interested in DIY and you love this sort of stuff, head on over to the channel. I'll link it down below there as well on the playlist, and check them out. That's all from this one, guys. As always, share this video with any of your buddies that maybe are looking to replace an alternator in their D-Max. It is going to be the same with pretty much any 4JJ3 platform, MUXs, all of that sort of good stuff, BT50s, all of the above. But other than that, guys, as always, I hope that you have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.